Hello and welcome to a Making Monday podcast sponsored by the NCF Fitness Center. I am your host, Stephen Keshishian, and today I have a special guest, co-captain of the swim team here at New College, Daria Paulus.
Yeah, that's me.
How are you, Daria?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I was alhamdulillah, but yeah, I'm doing good. Um, on this podcast, we explore many different topics. The past 2 weeks, we've been talking a lot about building the motivation to start lifting and the tips that we would give concerning supplements and training routines and regimens. I wanted to take a shift in the nature of what we talk about a sport that many people see, and if you're in Florida, hopefully you do some of casually, but is an intense sport that works out the entire body. It's strength and cardio and lung training. It's many different things, and I didn't think of anyone better than the co-captain of the team. Well, the other co-captain would be just as good, but that doesn't make it better. It makes it equal. Don't want to throw any shade out about swim. So, can you tell us a little about the club and things you want people to know about swim club?
Yeah, sure. We have kind of like three main like areas of focus within the club, and as a member, you can do one, two, or all three of them. And so the kind of like three tracks that we kind of focus on. So the first one's like learn to swim. So people who maybe like swim recreationally and like don't know anything about form and things like that. So focusing on like really building up form. Um, and even for people who like maybe have never been in the water before, building up those skills and like learning how to train your muscles in that way. The second kind of like goal or like track is swimming for fitness. So people who, want to get in shape, maybe like want to add something different or something new to like their routine, and like swimming's a way to do that for them. And then the third one is like swimming and training for like competitions, which because of COVID right now we haven't been participating in, but typically we'll participate in a couple of swim meets. And then we do open water swims and compete in the spring semester in open water swims.
Awesome, awesome. And I really like how you break it down into three tiers. It's on point with the message from the NCF Fitness Center that we are a fitness center for all types of athletes or people who don't maybe people who like call themselves athletes, people who engage in exercise. We are the new college home of exercise, and we're making it as acceptable and as accessible as ever. Now, what would you say are the most three, two, or one important components when it comes to getting in the water for a beginner? What should someone who is saying, "Hey, I want to start swimming. I know how to swim a little bit. What should I know?"
I mean, in general, there's like proper things when you like to consider in terms of like proper technique and things like that. And that's all stuff that can be learned over time the more you do it. But I think for me, the most important thing is just being really patient with yourself and being patient with your body. I think swimming's a really great sport, exercise, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is to you, for really getting in tune with your body and like understanding how your muscles move in space. And you can really do that in a way that's like if you're someone who like has joint problems or things like that, like can't do something that's super high impact, swimming's a really great way to like get in tune with your body without like putting too much exertion on your body if you're just getting in the water and trying to find something new. And I think just being patient and like noticing like the small intricacies of the way your muscles work.
Awesome. And that is something we hit on last week, which is the mind muscle connection. And we spoke about it mostly in a strength training, resistance training type way. Now, on that same nature, that same question, how would you define the mind muscle connection when it comes to swimming? And I know there's also the breathing connection. So it's more, I think, more complex in the sand weightlifting. So I'm going to give you the floor to explain those.
Yeah, I would say you mentioned breathing. Like that's a really big thing when you're swimming, obviously, because you want to get enough air to keep going and not drown. So breathing is super important, and being able to do that. And I think something we talk a lot about in swimming, especially like the more you do it, is rhythm in swimming, and really building like your body's rhythm in the water and the way that you move in the water. And I think like something I love about swimming is that every stroke has like a different rhythm to it. And the way the rhythm when you sprint is different than the rhythm when you're just like going like slowly through the water. And something that like we talk about a lot is like picking songs to like kind of like sing to yourself in your head while you're swimming so that you can swim along to like the rhythm or the beat of the song. And I think that's such a big part of that mind body connection, you know, being able to like hear yourself and hear like the beat is like when you're like finishing a stroke, and things like that. uh that makes swimming like super cool in that sense.
You know, at the end of the day, the rhythm is gonna get you. I'm sorry, I had to make that joke, and that's why I'm smiling so hard. Like the rhythm is gonna get you. And I know we both love that song, so that's why I was smiling so intensely, Daria. And it is a very very interesting and complex sport. It's great that we have it at New College. You know, all our club sports co-ed. So feel free, feel welcome. I have partaked in swim practice a couple of times just to share a little funny experience. It was hard. For someone who I jokingly call myself a student athlete a lot, I got my butt kicked in a very humbling way, but it also taught me that, you know, fitness is a spectrum and many different dynamics, you know, many different things that, yes, I may be able to control and talk to my muscles really intensely and isolate them when I'm working out. But when I'm swimming, I got to connect to all these moving pieces. And then you get overwhelmed and you get stressed. And what happens? You sink. So there is that nature when it comes to learning a new sport. There's a learning curve and you have to be easy on yourself. No one hops in and is like Michael Phelps the first day. No one hops in for 5 years is like Michael Phelps. There's only one Michael Phelps, but that's not what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get is that don't go hard on yourself and don't beat yourself up. You know, there's a saying that Roop said, the worst type of workout is no workout. So there's no bad workout when it comes to just getting comfortable with yourself in the water, and that's this entire thing. Daria, you do a bit of different sports. You do strength training. I see you in the gym sometimes. You do water sports. You enjoy those, and you do some sort of martial arts, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to find commonality amongst all those different things, what would you say is the most common factor when it comes to performing and performing well in those sports?
I would say it's just like actually getting yourself to go and do it is
Mhm.
like the biggest thing, and like really being in like the headspace to get it done. I would say that's the biggest thing for me. You know, it's really easy for me to be like, oh, I'm not in the mood to go to the gym today. I'm not in the mood to go swim. I'm not in the mood to go kickbox. Like whatever whatever the activity for the day is supposed to be. But really just like making it part of your routine is just like the easiest way I feel for me to do it. Cause, you know, like, especially now, like when I came back home for break, like it was hard to like find something to do. But now I'm like 2 weeks into going to the gym Monday through Friday, 6:30. And like that's like my routine. Like my body automatically wakes up in time for me to go, and it's like just building that in. And the first week is always the hardest, like the first and the second week, those are like the two hardest weeks. But once you get to like week 3 of doing it and it like becomes like a set pattern, um it's just like it's like you have to do it now, like you have to go because you've gotten so used to going. And it makes that like the curve that you have to jump over to find the motivation to do it, like that curve doesn't seem as steep anymore because you've been doing it for 14 days straight. So like what's 15 days, what's 16 days if you've already been doing it consistently. um and then just really having that patience, like understanding that like whatever your fitness goals may be, like they're not going to happen overnight, and that's okay. And they never happen for anyone overnight. And you hit bumps in the road and it's a journey, and that's okay. and just being understanding with yourself and forgiving with yourself when, like, maybe you expected to be able to do something at a certain point and you still can't, or you're not performing in the way you want to. Like, that's okay. Um, and just troubleshooting, and also like not taking it all on yourself, like reaching out to others, because we have a community here, like people who are willing to work with you, willing to help you in whatever shape or form they can to like help you get to where you want to be.
100%. I couldn't have said it better. And that thing about us having support systems was another heavy topic. I want to say I know you watched last week's episode where the points you're talking about, but I bet you're too busy. And I know it's okay. It's okay. My heart is rarely broken, but in this matter, it might be. But these are the things that all of us feel at the NCF Fitness Center, that we're here to help you because we're on a journey ourselves. No one in the gym is really, I would say, a pro athlete. We just love the sports we do. We love we love the exercise. I love the feeling afterwards after a really good workout, that dopamine rush. It's the best thing you can get for free, in my opinion. And I know I sound like a gym bro here, but I really do enjoy it. And then I would want to say is something on a personal note, just tangential about that. Keep pushing. Now, I'll be frank. In September, I went to a nurse just to get regular checkup, and it turns out my blood pressure was relatively high. And I was thinking, why would my blood pressure be high if I'm someone that I consider long story short, I wasn't doing enough cardio. I wasn't taking care of my heart health, and that was something I realized with yes, I was going in and working out, but I wasn't. I was getting stronger and getting bigger, but I wasn't taking care of things that I should have. I should, low intensity aerobic movement is really good for circulation. So I started. I said, okay, I went there September 13th, and I said I'm gonna do more cardio. And I kept trying to do more cardio, and I kept stumbling and missing days and doing less and feeling I don't want to do it today. And it took me 3 weeks to get in a rhythm. And in October, I can say that I finally sat down with myself and says, "This is the program. If I care about my heart health, I'm going to follow it." Um, and now we're in December, and I've been doing cardio almost every time I work out. I have times where I'm sore, but I'm not cardio sore, and I'll go do cardio. And then now I'm looking at my heart health. I feel so much better. I feel so much more agile. I'm less out of breath. So there is going to be turbulence on every flight, and it's really a matter of gripping that and saying, I'm gonna not beat myself up, but I'm gonna fix what I'm not doing right. Um, I think I'm not sure if you were part of the friend group that made fun of me for never doing cardio, but
I was in that group chat, yeah.
right, because I was look in September I was 220 and I thought I looked good, but I was out of breath with everything. I was breathing heavy sitting down, and Daria can attest to it.
I remember I was there.
Right? So it's things that you can say, hey, I'm athletic, but you got to focus on all the different spectrums and where you can, and the benefits with everything. And there are always going to be cons. Swimming to me was fun, but my heart rate would just, I swallowed so much water, my heart rate would jump, and then but I still try to stick to it somewhat, and I've kind of fallen off, but it's kind of part of the 2021 resolutions to keep on it because it's a good sport. It's all encompassing. I would say you're talking to all of these different muscles. Um, Before we go, Daria, I really want to say thank you for joining us tonight, whatever it may be. Um, what would be your leaving message for anyone that's saying, 2021, I am making a New Year's resolution to do X, Y, Z concerning fitness? What would you have said to pre athletic Daria? Or maybe there was never a pre-athletic Daria. I feel like there's always been someone that does sports. But if there was a pre-athletic Daria, what would you tell them?
It's funny because my mom just started working out recently. She saw me starting to go to the gym and she wanted to get started too. And the thing that I've been saying to her the most, and I think that like she's kind of like taken in, is start small. Like, I think a lot of people get scared of fitness and get scared of exercise because they see people around them who are going hard every day. And like, yes, like I go to the gym, I work out 6 days a week, and on my rest day, I'm still like doing active recovery. But that's not where everyone is. You know, you have to meet your body where it's at. And so maybe you start doing something 2 times a week and you do that for a month and then you start doing 3 times a week. And don't feel like every time you go to the gym you have to be there for a whole hour. Like most of the time when I go to lift weights, I'm not there for a whole hour. I'm there for 20, 30 minutes max, and I get what I need to get done and I'm out, you know? And everyone has, you know, their preferences when it comes to things like that. There are people who like to spend a whole hour in the gym and take really long breaks in between sets. I'm not that person. But I respect people who do that, because you need to do what works for you. And yeah, just really be patient for yourself and don't feel like you have to just jump into everything right away. You know, like pace yourself and like slowly build up to whatever it is that you want to achieve.
Hmm. Thank you, Daria. And I think I'd give my tip because it's going to lead into my Winning Wednesday series. I'm doing a two-part episode on that this week. Stay tuned. Is that it's strict but flexible. Understanding that. So when I first started my weight loss, I was because I was heavier set, I was insulin resistant, so carbs did more damage to me if they would someone who was lighter, just the way blood sugar works and cravings and all that. So I went ketogenic, and I kind of went really hard in chicken breast, chicken thigh, chicken. I said I did not. I limited myself and made it harder mentally on myself than I would have if I were more understand that this can be an enjoyable process, that I didn't have to forcibly be miserable. I am somewhat on a modified ketogenic diet right now. um, Eating really good food, really, really healthy, tasty food, salads, cauliflowers. I make it work. Um, if I'm in the mood for a burger, I'll make a lean beef burger. If I'm in the mood for sweet potato, I'll make sweet potato fries. So there's this thing that when we want to hop in, we want to go all in, but go all in if you want to go all in, but go all in with an open mindset. The easier you make it for yourself mentally, the longer you can do it. You'll build that mental tolerance as you go on and get more strengthened if you want to compete. This was my weight loss thing. But don't close all the doors because you see one open. Keep an open mind. Don't beat yourself up. Make it long lasting. And that's it for today. Thank you, Daria. I hope you catch some sleep for your 6:30 a.m. workout. I used to get up at 4:30 to go work out at 5 in summer for no reason, because it was summer and I had nothing else to do. But I thought it was pretty cool just to wake up and work out while the sun rises instead of sets in front of you. And I just did it for that feeling. So find what works for you. Hopefully, this is somewhat of an announcement. Maybe it's too preemptive. We don't know how long online programming will last for due to the nature of COVID in our area and decisions made by President O'Shea. But there is a commitment, and there will continue to be a commitment to provide you with quality content, workout techniques, and if we stay virtual, intensive, and also very instructive at-home workouts that you can do. We're going to make sure that if you want to work out and exercise in 2021, and you are a new college or a new college student, you can. Everything we have. Thank you.